Okay, my name's Fergal Kearney, and we're in the Bridewell Atrium Gallery in Magherafelt. Elements of Ireland. It's a landscape exhibition of my photography stretching back to 2005. And really it's a personal journey through the island of Ireland, captured in about 30 images. I fell in love with photography when I was a 10-year-old, and Santa Claus brought me my first little Kodak Instamatic camera. And I started snapping. And of course, photography in those days was very crude, and you had to stick things into the chemist and wait for about a week before you saw the joys of your snapping, which invariably weren't very good, but it actually gave me the opportunity to capture history. And you only realise that actually when you get older, that you're capturing history. And I took the wee camera most places with me, down to the river, away on walks, out playing. So there's really a family archive there, which I generated when I was a child, and but for that there would be nothing at all, only memories. I had a road traffic accident when I was 17. I crashed my father's car, and out of that I got some compensation, and that enabled me to buy my first big camera, as you want to call it, an SLR camera. And of course, at that stage, it was 35mm film. But that was the rekindling of my love of taking the image and capturing time and place, of which I'm very glad now, because it's the time I went to Queen's University in Belfast, and I've captured those times, or chronicled those times, a long time ago now, even though I'm in my mid-40s. But the fact is now I can go to an album and look at something which I took. I studied architecture and town planning. So again, I suppose that was the basis of me looking at my environment and understanding my environment better, and looking at the impact of man on the environment. And obviously, I suppose that stayed with me over the last 25 years, and has been, if you like, not an inspiration but a reminder that the environment constantly changes. Well, the thing about it is, most of us go through our lives rather blithely and not looking three-dimensionally at the place in which we live. And I think that's rather sad, because the place in which we live is extraordinary in terms of its variety and its beauty, and all the textures and all the colours, even in the wettest day, I think is something that inspires. If you look at the photographs in this exhibition, what you have are elements. You know, you've got earth, wind. You don't have any fire, but I think the real fire here is in the imagination. But Elements of Ireland really is what we have here in terms of seascape, mountains, sky, land, earth, all of those things basically, which cumulatively make this place special. And its variety in such a small place, I think, is somewhat extraordinary. Having been to the United States, Japan, Australia, you drive for maybe days in those countries to get the variety you get here in a drive of half an hour. And I suppose those elements that make up this place are what I believe makes it special. And I think that what I've tried to do here is capture those elements and show those elements at their very best. I've tried to use mixed media here in terms of presentation, and I think that each of these things, each of these pieces is probably positioned and mounted and presented in a manner that reflects the place and the colour, and indeed the lack of colour, the black and white. So what I've tried to do here is bring out black and white by using very simple white mounts and black frames, bring out the colours using nice wooden, brown, cream, gold, and really just to use framing and to use presentation really to bring out the best in each of the images. I'm sponsoring Aware Defeat Depression out of this, and depression is something which I've suffered from for about 20 years now, and it's obviously a cause close to my heart, because it's actually caused me to have to retire from mainstream employment. But photography and indeed capturing the place I live in has always been that anchor which has kept me grounded through what I would call my darkest days of depression and anxiety and all those things associated with it. So what I'd like to do, I suppose, is to say, here's what you can do even in your darkest hours. You can capture the brightest light, you can capture the place in which you live, and it provides a very useful anchor for anyone who is going through dark days or dark times. And really I recommend art, photography, whatever art form that you choose to invest your time in, as something which is hugely therapeutic and hugely enjoyable. And even if you don't suffer from depression, I think it's something that everyone actually should take their time just to open their eyes and take a 360-degree view of the world about them, and realise what a wonderful world this is.